after one of the most talked about contract disputes in the business that saw him holding up the WWF before working his final match in the company at the No Mercy pay-per-view. Jeff Jarrett followed Vince Russo to jump to WCW and debut on the new creative's first show on October 18, being involved in a talked-about worked shoot segment that saw Bagwell laying down and sending a message to Russo before Jarrett came out in a quarter doing a 3 rating, with Jarrett 2 weeks earlier opening the month with a continuation of his program with Chyna in Raw's highest quarter of the night against Ma and Mae Young doing a 6.7 rating, with Jarrett's final Raw appearance coming on October 11 throwing off Chyna in a laundry basket backstage at the Georgia Dome in a quarter doing a 6.1. Bret Hart returned to Kansas City's Kemper Arena for the first time since the Owen tragedy in the same building, picking Chris Benoit for a special Owen tribute match introduced by Harley Race going 27 minutes, the longest match in Nitro history, with the match which went from 9:55 to 10:35 crossing over 3 quarters, picked up over 800,000 viewers for the duration of it to a 2.8 rating. Following the match, Bret and Benoit teamed up on October 11 in the main event spot against Luger and Steiner to a 2.3 overrun, with Bret Hart now set for a major push under the new Russo regime, working the title match against Sting on their debut Nitro show to draw the peak of the night 3.5 rating, with Bret continuing the high-profile TV matches the following week, closing the month in a first-time ever match against Goldberg, ending with Bret pinning Goldberg to his second career loss doing another peak 3.7 rating. With Hall off television since March and Nash off after losing the retirement match to Hogan in August, Hall and Nash returned to start October sitting in the crowd, with Hall saying that the Outsiders are gonna come back when it starts being fun again in WCW, with them returning in the front row again the following week to set up them playing a major role in Russo and Ferrara's first show on October 18. First being involved in a brawl with Goldberg and kicked out of the building in the first head-to-head quarter doing a 3.1 rating, with them all over the rest of the show in a series of skits trying to get back in, with Russo and Ferrara targeting the Outsiders as one of the main drawing acts of the new regime, with Hall and Nash hyping a segment for the top of the hour when Raw goes on the air on October 25, leading to Nitro opening with one of its highest quarters in months 3.5 rating. Setting up the Outsiders TV return match for later in the show, which turned out to be a comedic segment against 3 strippers, jumping big with over 1.4 million viewers to a peak 3.7 rating. With Hogan, Flair and Savage all written off television throughout October, Bill Goldberg was set to headline as the top guy in the company under the new creative team, starting the month being placed as he usually did in the last month in the final unopposed quarter in a match against Jerry Flynn, crossing into 9 p.m., with Goldberg opening the crossover segment with a promo hyping his pay-per-view match against Seed doing a show-high 2.9 rating, with Goldberg and Seed having the final confrontation before the match jumping over 600,000 viewers in the overrun, setting up the first opposed quarter of the new regime the following week, with Seed coming out with his legal team calling out Goldberg to start brawls with Seed and the Outsiders doing a 3.1. With Goldberg headlining the show in the next 2 weeks in first-time ever matches, first against Lex Luger jumping over 700,000 viewers to a 3.2 rating, and a Goldberg vs. Bret Hart main event on October 25 doing Nitro's highest peak rating of the month, 3.7 rating. Edge, Christian and the Hardys had a career breakthrough month in October '99, with them working a best-of-5 series of matches that ended in a career highlight ladder match at the No Mercy pay-per-view, with both teams elevated the next night on Raw on October 18, getting a standing ovation from the crowd in a segment picking up over 400,000 viewers to a 5.5 rating. With the two TV matches on the way to the pay-per-view doing strong numbers combined, bumping Raw over 1.2 million viewers with 6.1 and 6.3 ratings. With his focus shifted off-screen to organize the new creative crew after the Shock Russo-Ferrara jump, Vince McMahon opened the first Raw post the announcement in front of over 35,000 people in WCW territory at the Georgia Dome for the first ever Raw in Atlanta, opening big for a segment with Austin and Triple H to peak in the first quarter with a 6.4 rating, with Vince involved in Raw's opening segment again the following week, holding off Rock and Austin to book a three-way with both against Hunter for the Survivor Series pay-per-view jumping to a 5.8 rating, with him also involved in an angle against Bulldog in the first Raw of the month after Bulldog injured Stephanie doing another 5.8. A week after a record-breaking rating, Mankind called out Rock to the ring for the This Is Your Life follow-up segment on October 4 doing a 6.1 rating, while coming back out 20 minutes later teaming with Stevie Richards against the Dudleys in a quarter doing a 5.8. Mankind was involved in a show-long angle the following week waiting to confront Rock outside the Georgia Dome, with their promo to set up the main event doing a 6.3 rating. Headlining the show in a tag match against Val and Bulldog doing a 6.1, setting up the split of the Rock and Sock connection on October 18 with Mankind giving Rock a copy of his new book doing a peak 5.9 rating, before finding it in the trash to lead to an aggressive Foley promo on Rock with him not participating in the main event tag titles match against the Hollies doing a 5.6. Closing the month in a WWF title match against Triple H drawing a 6 rating to open Raw's second hour on October 25. The build-up to the Triple H vs. Austin No Mercy pay-per-view match went to the next level on October 4 with Hunter calling out JR to the ring with Austin off the show to send him a message in a segment jumping over 1.5 million viewers to Raw's peak quarter of the night 6.7 rating, with Hunter coming out to confront Austin and JR in the opening segment on October 11 doing another peak 6.4. setting up a tag match for later in the show with Hunter and Chyna against Austin and Ross doing a 6.1, with Hunter a day after No Mercy starting the build to a three-way against Rock and Austin, and the show opening and closing segments doing 5.8 and 5.6 ratings, with Triple H defending the belt against Mankind on October 25th at the top of the hour at 10 p.m. in a match drawing a 6 rating. Chyna was involved in 2 programs in October '99, first in a feud against Jeff Jarrett that turned into a talked-about pay-per-view match due to the contract situation, with the final build to the match seeing Chyna in a tag match with Triple H against Austin and JR, ending with Jarrett attacking Chyna backstage in a quarter doing a 6.1 rating, with Chyna now with the IC belt moving into a program with Jericho in 2 segments over the next 2 weeks, drawing the highest rated quarters of the night, first with Jericho cutting a promo on Chyna ruining the credibility of the IC title to start a brawl doing a 5.9 rating, with Chyna and Jericho facing off in a tag match with D'Lo and Stevie Richards jumping over 1.1 million viewers to a show-high 6.3 rating. Steve Austin opened the first ever Raw in Atlanta, calling out Triple H for the final build-up to the No Mercy pay-per-view, peaking Raw already in the first quarter with a 6.4 rating, setting up a tag match with Austin and JR against Hunter and Chyna, gaining over 700,000 viewers to a 6.1. With Austin also involved in the peak segment of the night a week earlier with a taped interview with JR, in a segment with Triple H jumping over a million viewers over 2 quarters to a 6.7. After months of being separated on television as the top 2 babyfaces in the company, Austin and Rock finally went face-to-face on October 18th to start the build to the Survivor Series 3-way title match, bumping Raw over 600,000 viewers to a 5.8 rating while facing off again in the overrun doing a 5.6, setting up Austin and Rock teaming up in the main event the following week against the Outlaws doing a 5.8 rating. The build-up to The Rock vs. Austin WrestleMania rematch started on October 18, '99, with Rock opening Raw with a Survivor Series hype promo before being confronted by Austin in a segment doing a 5.8 rating, leading to them teaming up on October 25th with both cutting promos to hype up the match with them now after months of doing it separately in different programs, directly competing for the crowd reactions head-to-head at the same time, with the Rock-Austin Outlaws tag match picking up over 800,000 viewers to a 5.8 rating. Rock's other main angle of the month saw the continuation and split of the Rock and Sock connection, as Rock and Mankind had the follow-up segment to the record 8.4 rating on October 4th, with Rock coming back out 20 minutes later for the main event, with the first Rock vs. Jericho match picking up over a million viewers to a 6.5 rating. Rock arrived to the Georgia Dome on October 11, cutting a promo imitating Flair, Savage and Hogan in WCW territory to bump Raw to a 6.3 rating, with Rock and Mankind headlining the company's first show in the stadium against Val and Bulldog doing a 6.1, ending the original Rock and Sock run on October 18 in a show-long angle, bumping Raw over 1.5 million viewers throughout, including the peak segment of the night 5.9 rating, while main eventing the show against the Hollies in a tag titles match doing a 5.6.